By default, Spring Beans are eagerly loaded. That means all the beans would be created right when the container loads and before you request for a bean. In order to demonstrate the same, I have put this message in the constructor of sample bean. So when the instance of this sample bean is being created by the container, we would be able to see this message. And in our main method, we pretty much have the same code, except I have now included the following message requesting for a bean. We're trying to display this message before we're requesting for a bean for the first time. And now if you run the program, since the beans are loaded eagerly, that means the constructor is called before we requested for bean instance. If you wish, you can override the default behavior and make these beans load in lazy manner, just as we are. And for that, you just have to include one attribute that's lazy in it, and then you're going to make it true. It's as simple as that. Now let's run the program, and this time I'm expecting this message to be displayed first, and when we request for the object for the first time, the constructor would be called. And sure enough, everything worked well. In case if you wish to load all the beans in lazy manner, then you can just move this particular attribute to the root tag and call it default lazy init, and this works for all the beans now. And now this is applicable for all the beans, and it worked as expected. And when you make all the beans as lazy, there might be instances where you might want to make a particular bean as eager. In that case, you just have to add that attribute in that particular bean so that that particular bean would be loaded in eager manner. You just have to make the lazy init to false, and that will work without any problem. Although this output doesn't really demonstrate that. Trust me, it works. In order to do the same from Java config, you just have to include an annotation, and let's try to do that. Let's say I want to make this particular bean lazily load. I would just say lazy. It's as simple as that. And it has worked. And if you want to make all the beans lazy, you just have to move this particular annotation at class level, and things will work pretty smooth. And finally, if you would like to make particular bean load eagerly, then you just have to set the flag to false, and it works as well. So if you have certain beans that you're not going to use it very frequently, then it's better to load them in lazy manner. That means only when you require those beans would you need its instance. That will save a lot of memory and performance as well. For example, let's say that you have a database connection object. Then you might want to load it in eager manner because it would be used across your application very frequently to interact with the database. Alright, that's about it. I'll see you in my next video.